What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Another update today for you on the red RSX. As you may see, we are at the shop here. I got the gray car out and about. I've been driving this thing a lot more lately. The alignment's still not great. I went back again after adjusting the rack. I tried to center the rack more. The toe is a little bit better, but it's still off. I'm maxed out on threads on the tie rods. So I'm gonna be running they're called Deivi race tie rods. They're OEM modified to thread in and out so you can get more adjustability out of them. But I've still been driving the car a lot just because I really do enjoy driving it. You may have not seen, but I lowered it a little more in the front and the back. Not a crazy amount, you know, like it's still, like I can't fit my finger in there, you know, it's still pretty tight. Like slam it, but it's definitely low. Camera. And I replaced one of the O2 sensors, so no more check engine light. So put the rest of the black interior back together back here. This is all pretty much good to go. I just got to find the base plate so the carpet doesn't sag. And I'm going to be replacing this seal at some point because it is a little messed up. Other than that, the interior is back together. Here is the tie rods I was talking about. As you can see here, you can thread this whole bolt in and out, and then this is to lock it in place. And then you have the lock for your outer tie rods. And I gotta do this rack slider as well. Other than that, I've just been driving her. The exhaust is still raspy, but it sounds a lot better without the massive exhaust leak. So here we are today at the shop here. Adam's not here right now, but we're getting a little bit of work done on the red car. So she looks a little different than the last time you guys saw it. Last time it didn't even have a motor in it, I'm pretty sure. What else? The guy who's doing my fuse box harness, one of my wiring guys, he was just here. We spent maybe like 2 hours, like an hour and a half, 2 hours, just dialing in the fitment with all the wiring, running the fuse box through the glove box, as I mentioned before, which I wanted to do. So he's got my fuse box apart, stripped, extended, and this is how the car sits right now. It doesn't look like much of a car. I mean, kind of. There's the radiator. So right now I've got the intercooler in here, kind of just roughly mocked up. As you can see here, titanium intercooler piping from DC5 Creations, along with the bash bar and a bunch of other things that he's given me because he is my sponsor. So I do still pay for these items, but I do get a small discount through his site. And honestly, I really haven't had too many issues with the products. So we have his manifold. Haven't tested it yet. Same with the piping, but so far everything fits kind of how it's supposed to. This is really tight right here, but I still have some wiggle room on the coupler. So here we are with the Gato 4 injector manifold because I don't plan on making like more than like 600-700. So I don't need the 8 injector. This is just like a mock-up motor. This isn't the actual motor that's going in the car. Down here we got the accessories from my car. Right here, the coolant, the AN lines. This is all just mocked up from my car. Right here, this is from my car as well. Let's see, this is all mocked up from my car as well. But this motor is just like a motor that Adam had laying around. And over here we got we got the holes drilled for the catch can, which is gonna run through here. I just gotta run some of the lines, put the fuel rail on, etc. See how that all mounts, put the suspension back in it. And then this is a mess in here. It's been a while since this car has seen some action, so I had to pull the glove box out. Let me get a light so you guys can see a little better, but it's a mess. This is the glove box here on the floor. This, you may be surprised. You'd be like looking at this, like, what is all this wiring here? This is literally just the wiring for these headlights. So I have the turn signal / running light strip here. These are color changing and the center's color changing. with HIDs. This is a high beam turn signal, there's a running light, and then a running light. So it's not super crazy, but this is all what makes, like, this is for the HIDs. There's another ballast back there, HID. This is for color changing for the halos. This is color changing for the demon eyes. And then this just is a mess. Like, this has to go to the fuse box. This has to run all the way across to the other headlight. It's just quite the mess. So we're gonna be cleaning most of that up as the build gets closer and closer to completion. But right now it's like, we just had it all mocked up so we could see how the harness for the fuse box fits with the wiring for the headlights, because it does have to run. The fuse box powers the headlights, the radiator fans, surprisingly the O2 sensors, and the hood latch cable, and the ABS, but I don't have ABS, so we just snipped that right out of there. But let me grab a light here and I'll show you how I'm gonna be running this fuse box. I'm actually planning on drilling a hole today while I'm here for it. So right here is the hole I'm gonna be utilizing for the fuse box harness. So as you can see here, see this hole with the, not the one for the AC with the grommet, but the other one. So that is technically where the engine harness is supposed to come out of, the one with like the kind of yellowish brown stuff around it. So that is actually the hole that the engine harness is supposed to come out of. So I actually have DC5 Creations engine harness as well, and it's much thinner than the OEM one. So I'm gonna be running the engine harness and the fuse box harness through that same hole in the back, right? So the engine harness kind of just comes straight along the coil packs and then over, right? The original way the fuse box is supposed to run is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a hole down there. You see it? You can kind of see the carpet through it, that red right there. See where I moved the light? It's like right there behind the two bars. So back there, that is where the original fuse box harness is supposed to run, and the fuse box normally sits right here. So it would run kind of along the frame here under the power steering, and then up the side to here. So what you can do is, if you don't feel like redoing your whole harness, which I don't blame you, it's not easy, it's a lot of work, you can just flip the harness from here, take your motor mount off, put it under the motor mount, and you have just enough slack to mount your fuse box right here. You can see where I had it mounted. See all these rusty holes? That's where I had the fuse box before, and the wiring just goes right underneath there and then back. So I believe I had to extend a couple things, but nothing too crazy. And you can flip the fuse box over and put it underneath your headlight. I mean, it sits in front of your tire, which is like not ideal, but that's a way to tuck it, which is what most RSX people do. But now that I'm redoing this whole bay, I'm like, I'm not dealing with that no more. The fuse box is gonna be inside of the car in the glove box, and it's gonna run through the engine harness hole. It's gonna run right through this gap above the tie rods, and then I'm gonna drill a hole on both sides, and it's gonna run right along the top of this, down here, through here, underneath the headlight to power all this crap, power this light, and then it's gonna run along the bottom of the radiator support and into the other headlight on the other side of the car. So he actually just left with the fuse box. I didn't really want to film while he was here. We were just kind of getting straight to business. So inside the car here, don't mind the mess, I took the glove box out. So the fuse box is actually just gonna sit right here. Let me see if I can get this light to stay. So the fuse box is I'm gonna have Adam weld something, and it's just gonna sit right here. And what you do is you cut out the back of the fuse box, or the glove box, so it closes, and you can have your fuse box right there. And you'll still kind of have a functioning glove box. You just want to cut out a square for the fuse box to sit. And then the rest of the wiring for the fuse box just runs, it's gonna run behind this panel, then down behind here, and then it plugs into, let's see here. it plugs into the blue, gray, brown, and then it's gonna run behind that all the way up to there. You see the green connectors up there? So it's gonna run through here, down behind that, and then up to the connectors up behind the dash. So right through here, if you guys can see that hole back there? That is where the engine harness normally goes through, all the way back there. So the fuse box harness is literally just gonna run like just straight back. I already test fit it, it's gonna work. And then the ECU mounts right here on the bottom, and the harness goes up through that hole as well. So it should work out pretty mint, because I have the engine harness tucked, which is gonna be a lot smaller than OEM, and the fuse box harness, same thing. They're both gonna be more narrow. So I'll be able to fit both harnesses through the engine harness hole. And I'm just gonna shave the hole underneath where the OEM is down here. I think I'm just gonna shave that, or I might have to leave it for my wideband. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that for the wideband, because I have the gauge pillars you can see on the dash. The gauges have their own wiring that go to like your O2 sensor and oil pressure and boost. So those need to have a way to get through the firewall to your boost controller and your oil pressure, and then one goes to your O2 for like your exhaust, so you can see your AFRs. So that's how I'm gonna be running them now. Just like the 3 or 4 wires are gonna come through the OEM hole. The rest of it's gonna come through over there. And if I wanted to run AC, I still have the option of that, but I don't know. It's kind of like a full-blown race car at this point. So I don't know. We'll see if I want to do AC, but it's very close, guys. It's very close. I know a couple of people have been, I wouldn't say a lot, but those of you that are like genuinely interested in the stuff I do have been asking like, what's good with the red car? What's good with it? When's it going to be out? I'm like, dude, no ETA, because it's just a lot. I mean, I don't have a ton of fab to do. It's more or less like a lot of restoration, because I'm shaving the bay, right? And then once I shave the bay, it's got to get painted, and everything's got to come back out again. Like right now, it's just in there for a mock-up. So it's got to come back out, and then everything's got to get redone. Powder coat, paint, new hardware, every nut, bolt, washer, anything you can think of is getting replaced. Like literally everything. I don't want a single piece of used hardware on this car whatsoever. Like, I don't know if you guys can really see, but just from looking at it, you see anything rusted? All that. See that? This bar, the clamp. Let's see what else in here. The bolts. This bolt here for the engine mount, that bolt. Literally anything that, like this piece here coming off the head, that clamp right there, this here, these holes, like the hood latch, I don't know, literally anything that I can replace or refurbish is gonna be replaced and refurbished. I'm painting the rack, taking it apart, rebuilding it, powder coating the strut bars, replacing all the hardware. Literally anything that I can replace, powder coat, chrome, whatever, is getting done. I'm gonna buy a new brake booster with a new reservoir on top, new lines for that, literally new mounts, new hardware for this, new starter, new alternator. All the timing stuff for the motor is getting replaced. I'm replacing the timing cover, the oil pan, the valve cover, every gasket you can think of, and literally anything that you can think of is getting replaced. The subframe's getting powder coated, the control arms, the hub, the bearing. Like, you see all this rusty crap here? This is all getting replaced. From the brake line to this mounting point to the bushings, the control arm, the wheel bearing, the knuckle, pads, rotors, this heat shield. Literally everything is getting replaced. Every single piece of this is getting replaced. I'm not skipping a beat with this car. Literally everything. I'm replacing everything. The only things I'm going to be reusing is maybe some of the coolant, the bigger coolant lines, like down there for the radiator that I converted to AN, some of the bigger coolant lines. But I might even just replace these fittings because they're scratched up, you know. I want literally everything brand new. Like this is gonna get chrome plated. This I'm gonna leave its billet, the valve cover chrome. These are gonna be chrome. The mount for the transmission selector is gonna be chrome. Sending this out for chrome. Literally the timing cover is gonna be chrome. I'm not playing around with this car, you know. That's why it's taking so long. Some of you wondering, you know, every piece of wire is going to be new, all new connectors, all new hoses, all new lines, fuel filter, everything. Literally everything is going to be brand new, and that's what's taking so long. So still a lot of powder coating, a lot of chrome plating, painting, stuff like that I got to do. It's going to be a while, you know. It's like this stuff doesn't come easy, especially the motor I'm building is literally just balls to the wall built. Like I'm building like a 1200 horsepower capable motor, and I'm not going to make that much right now, but it's capable, you know. Everything in this setup that you see here is like rated for like 1,000. Like this, I think this is rated for like 800 or 900 manifold, or what's it called, intercooler, 800 or 900. This here, 1200. The internals 1200. Transmissions rated for like, I think my trans is only good for like 7. And I have gear X 1 through 4, carbon synchros, the whole 9, you know. But like to go PPG, you're talking like 8-9 grand for a trans. So I'm not doing that, you know. Brembos, I have the Brembos. Those are good for stopping that much power. I'm replacing everything, you know. C is going to be rated for the power I want to make. So that's why it's taken so long. New clutch, twin disc, hydraulic throwout, bigger injectors, bigger fuel pump. I might even run 2 pumps or just one massive one because I have a 450, but I might have to bump it up. Yeah, it's just gonna be insane. New coilovers. I'm gonna be getting a different pair of coils, new inner and outer tie rods, rebuilding the rack, replacing all the seals for everything. It's just like, that's why this shit is taking so long. I'm being very meticulous with how I do it. And it's just a lot of planning, you know. Like today, I'm gonna be marking out the bay for the holes that I'm gonna be deleting, right? So I'm gonna be taking a Sharpie and just, see all these holes? I'm just gonna be marking them out with X's on what I don't need and what can be filled in, you know? So that's what today is gonna be. I'm just going along the bay and marking out holes that I don't want, don't need. So that way it can go to paint, get shaved. But it's getting close. I just need, for parts, I just need, for like turbo engine bay shit, is like a turbo, exhaust piping, wastegate piping, all new lines for like the boost controller, wastegate, blow off valve, all new like lines for that, the vacuum lines. I need new fuel lines. We got to convert over to E85, so I still got to do that. What else? That's pretty much it. Get some stuff chromed, but like for the most part, it's pretty close. You know, I'd say within the next month or two, I want to have it at paint, getting the bay done, and then we're going to assemble the motor at the same time. So it's definitely close. The wiring guy was just here. We test fitted the harness. He's going to have that done in like a month or so. I put the piping on. I put some of the other stuff on as parts come in. I'm going to put the rest of it on. Like the manifold is in the back. That's on. I got the radiator here. I'm not going to put the engine harness in there. But I got like the rack, the coolant lines, manifold. The ABS delete kit from DC5 Creations is also in here. Got all the holes drilled for the catch can, holes drilled for the ABS delete. It's getting close, you know, it's getting really close. And as soon as I can sell my BMW, which has been giving me nothing but problems, it's like I finally fixed everything, it was good to go, and then my fuel pump went. I'm like, great. So literally as I picked it up to drive it home to post it for sale, the fuel pump went. So I'm replacing that, and then it'll be good, finally. So that's just kind of the way things are going, waiting for the money from the Beamer to finish this. And then the gray car just needs a couple little things, and then that hopefully should be good to go. I've been driving it a lot. And then, yeah, so that's just an update for you guys. I know the video is a lot of talking, just like more of an update on this jalopy. So I hope you guys are excited for what's to come with this build, and you guys have been enjoying the content with the gray car while the red car is obviously down getting worked on. So please, if you do like this sort of content, you want to see more, hit the thumbs up button, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Yo